Hey everybody, welcome to another Foosh video review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the first 4 figures, the first wave of the new Funko ReAction Universal Monsters series. These are done, of course, in the style of the original Kenner Star Wars figures, but they're also very similar in style and design to those old Remco Universal Monsters figures. That old Remco line was one of my favorite things ever when I was a little kid. So while these Funko figures weren't pulling me in at first, as soon as I saw the Universal Monsters, I was in hook, line, and sinker. And there is a lot here to admire and appreciate. The cards, first of all, are just beautiful. I mean, let's just look at some of these. We've got Bride of Frankenstein here. Now, Bride of Frankenstein never had a figure in the old Remco line, so this is really awesome that we're seeing her here. I love the black and white image and the splash of the color in the title. All of these just look completely awesome. And there, of course, is Frankie, Frankenstein's monster, or just Frankenstein as he's going by here. And again, beautiful card, black and white shot with some green accents in the title. I love that there isn't just one uniform look to the cards. Each figure gets his own headline and his own image, and that makes them all really hard to open because the presentation here is just so good. I mean, I love the way they did the Invisible Man. He's looking very dapper and debonair in his smoking jacket and glasses here. And I know there are variants for some of these, so I have to wonder if they did a clear plastic variant for him. I don't know though, but that's something that it seems like it would be a no-brainer. I know there's variants for Creature of the Black Lagoon and the Mummy, so we'll see if they went that route here. And speaking of which, on the back of the card here you can see the first 2 waves. And wave 2, which we'll be taking a look at very shortly, consists of Dracula, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, Phantom of the Opera, and the Mummy. So, and again, this is wave 1, and these cards are gorgeous, and I would love to even pick up a second set to keep carded, but none of the cards I got have been perfect. They're all warped, they're all banged up in some way, and I think that if I'm going to go through the trouble of keeping these guys sealed, then the cards should be perfect. So fortunately for my shelf space, none of the cards are perfect, so they're all going to get opened. So why don't you sit tight while I get these figures open, and we're going to take a look at wave 1 of the Funko ReAction Universal Monsters. Here are the monsters out of their packages, and they all look like so much fun. They really do. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's probably the nostalgia thing, and I really hate harping on that point because, oh, everything was better when I was a kid than it is now. But I'm really excited to own these because they do remind me of those figures I had as a kid and haven't really thought of much since I was a kid. But these are just so much fun to me, and there's so much less to them, I guess, than what I'm currently kind of used to when it comes to action figures. But these are really doing it for me in a big way, for some reason, somehow. So they all do feature just 5 points of articulation. That is it. I'm going to use Frankenstein as my guinea pig here. They move at the shoulders. Sorry, Wolfman. That was harsh. They move at the shoulders, their heads swivel, and their legs move at their hips. And that's it. And that goes for all of them. There's no wrist swivels, there's no ankle rockers, there's no ab crunch, there's no any of that stuff. And after playing with them out of the packaging, I had no quality control issues with any of them either. Nothing snapped off, no joints were gummy. On all of them, everything moves as they should. So that is very nice to see. And they are just seeing them it's just warm fuzzies. I've got warm fuzzies all over the place. They're just a lot of fun for me. Though I do wish Bride of Frankenstein here had a screaming face, and maybe there's a variant out there with her like that, because she looks so calm and so placid, and I guess that's how it mainly is for figures like this, but she always looked freaked out and scared and terrified in the movie, so I wish that was a little bit better represented here. And the Invisible Man, he's like the sleeper hit. I mean, he looks like he's wearing pajamas too, so that's ironic. He's like the sleeper hit from the wave. He was the one I was the least interested in. Well, for this wave, rather. I mean, overall, the Mummy was the one I just didn't care about. But for this wave, Invisible Man was the one I wasn't sure I was going to pick up, but I love him. I think he's awesome. So, I'm just going to do some quick turnarounds here for the figures. Frankenstein, just, there's his jacket, and there's some neat little clothing folds in there. He looks pretty cool. And the same exact story with the Wolfman here. There's not a lot of surprises in the turnarounds. Same with the Bride. They all kind of, all the details on the front, but the back carries enough to just make them seem like a complete piece. Now let's get some close-ups here on their faces if we can. Let's see. There we go. Frankenstein's got his little bloody scar, of course, on his head, and he looks sad, lonely, and desperate, just as he should. That's especially how he looked in Bride of Frankenstein, and I think they did a really good job with it. The Wolfman, again, he looks very faithful to his appearance in the movie. He looks awesome. I like the head sculpt a lot. I think they did a really good job with him. And the Wolfman has always been a character that could, possibly come across as kind of boring, but not here. They really nailed it. The Bride, again, I wish she had some kind of screaming or scared expression on her face, because I think if I were just to paint her hair blue and her skin a little bit more yellow, we would just have Marge Simpson here. She's a little bit too placid looking. But other than that, I love the idea that I have a Bride of Frankenstein figure in this style and in this line. I think it's awesome. And then the Invisible Man, with his bandages and his sunglasses, he just looks so darn suave. Can I interest you in some champagne, miss? Like the Continental from Saturday Night Live. The smoking jacket, I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. I almost wish the sunglasses were removable, but they are a permanent fixture on his head. So let's see here. In terms of scale, they are 3 3/4 inch figures. It says so right on their packages too. So here is little Miss Amy Pond from the 3 3/4 inch Doctor Who line. She's agreed to be our helpless victim, or hapless victim, today. And it's difficult to get her standing, unfortunately. But, in terms of size, she's pretty consistent with these guys. So, I think if you still have a collection of the old Kenner Star Wars figures, the old Remco monsters, these would fit right in. And I really do wish I had that old playset that the Remco monsters came with, because, oh god, that would be awesome for these right now. And Frankenstein is appropriately larger. He's a little bit larger. He's probably about an even 4 inches. He's kind of towering over Amy here, so that kind of works in the I'm gonna pick you up and throw you in the pond kind of scenario. I dig that. So basically, I bought every Universal monster figure I could find, aside from the variants that I found, because I didn't like them, and I can't wait to get them all open and displayed. I'm really not one for this scale, but these characters in this scale, in this style, are really, really doing it for me in a big way, and I'm really happy to have them. So let us know what you think about these guys. I know a lot of people have voiced some displeasure with regards to some of the other Funko ReAction lines, like Goonies and Escape from New York, and basically the figures that look more quote-unquote human are kind of missing the mark, but I think these guys are nailing it. I'm really happy with this collection so far. So let us know what you think about this first wave of the Universal Monster Funko ReAction figures. Do they stack up to the old Remco? Will they fit in with Star Wars? What do you think? Leave a comment below. Leave a comment on our message boards. We've got a thread going. Check us out on social media. And we'll be back very soon with a look at Wave 2. Thanks for tuning in.